Do you like movies that take place in the snow? Maybe meteorite movies that come crashing down and cause mayhem? Or maybe you like movies that try to rip off The Thing a little too much? Well, this might be that movie for you. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a spoiler-free review and an unboxing of Blood and Snow, which is coming out June 11th for you to watch on digital and Blu-ray. So Cleopatra and MVD Entertainment sent this one out to me. Thank you guys for sending it. We're going to basically get into everything I think about this movie first and the extras, which really they're not that many. So that part's going to be very short, but I'll show you some the unboxing and everything like that. So let's get into it. Blood and Snow is a movie that is kind of British-Canadian sort of mixture of a film. It says it's made in Canada, but there is a lot of people that have worked on a lot of British productions that are in this movie. In particular, Simon Phillips, who has been in Once Upon a Time at Christmas, that Paul Tanter directed and did the sequel for Night of Christmas or something like that, where it has like a sort of Harley Quinn Santa Claus lady and Santa Claus going around causing mayhem in the streets, which we've got to see both of those and reviewed both of those on this channel before for the podcast, actually. Simon Phillips is a writer and director, and he plays the Santa in those. But we also have Vernon Wells, who's in this movie, the famous Vernon Wells from Mad Max and Commando and a ton of other films that you would love to see and have seen Vernon Wells doing. But this is not that film, unfortunately. And I have some thoughts about this. But first, what is this movie all about? The online IMDb thing says scientists find meteor in Arctic. It kills one, infects the other. Nearby base takes in survivor to investigate incident, and survivor's identity raises questions. That is a weird description, but to give you a better understanding of what's going on in this movie, there is a base that has a bunch of people that are scientists and they study things out in the Arctic. They have a group of people that are coming to their base to do sort of like, they stay at that base while they go out and research oil. But it's not oil. They tell you that like 9 times in the movie. They weren't out here for oil, I can tell you that. Did you know that they're not out here for oil? No, I didn't. Yes, I did. But these guys come out to research oil, and they're actually looking for a meteorite that crashed to Earth that they find fragments of, and one of them gets infected, and it takes over their body in a sort of parasitic way. It is nothing like The Thing, where we have a ton of practical effects and a ton of who's who and who's the bad person, like which one of you is the alien kind of thing. All of the good stuff from The Thing, we're going to take that on out of there. Now, this isn't a Thing movie, but it definitely has its nod-heavy moments. Specifically, the prequel and the Thing movie in particular, there's some elements in there that are kind of similar, but it's a meteorite, it's not a spaceship, and so on and so on. This person who's infected causes a lot of problems in the place, and it goes on for quite a while until the very bloody end. But it's not that bloody. The gore is very much toned down. There isn't a lot of practical effects. In fact, a lot of the stuff they use in the film is CGI for the eyes and sort of some moments of transformation when the creature attacks or the person attacks, because it's essentially hiding in that person. There is some science talk and jargon going on here that seems to be, for the most part, on the up and up, but this is a long movie. It's an hour and about 55 minutes almost. This movie went on way too long, and I think if they would have cut it down, it would have been a much more digestible film than what we got. It's a noble attempt. Look, I really appreciate when these movies go and try to make it sci-fi, action, horror, all of that. It's not easy to make a small budget movie look bigger, and this does have a bigger appeal to it in the story especially, but there is so much going on that the movie sort of temperature checks you all the way through the film to make sure you're hearing what you heard so that you can progress with the story, because it kind of throws you all over the place. I don't know that they were trying to make a suspense in here, but I honestly didn't feel it. Now, this is by director Jesse Polano. This was written by Rosa McPhillips and Simon Phillips, who also plays Luke in this movie, who is sort of the angsty, drunk guy who's not too bright, but he definitely plays that sort of anti-hero character in this movie. Vernon Wells is like a professor in this movie. He's not an action role whatsoever, but I mean, the man is much older now. What do you expect? He's not going to be gunning down Arnold Schwarzenegger and getting speared in the stomach. The story is not too bad, but the acting and sort of how long it takes to get there is really kind of the curse of the film. It just is too long. 30 minutes or so are actually probably the most interesting, and that's because there's a lot more things that are happening. More people are dying or getting injured. The creature wants to get out. I call it a creature because it's a parasite. As much as this movie wants to be as original as possible, it really is just borrowing from other movies that have done much better than it. But there's nothing wrong with a little homage in a film, as long as you do enough to change it and make it interesting. There's nuggets of stuff in this film that I felt was interesting, but at no point in time did it supersede that. But even still, they could have condensed a lot of what happened out there, and it wouldn't have affected the film in the slightest. You could have caught at least 20 minutes off of this film, like instantly, and it would have still had the same impact that the film ended up giving, which was not very much. But, you know, I admire for it trying to do something bigger on a small budget. Honestly, I would probably wait to see this on streaming. I'm appreciative of being sent something like this to check out. I, saw Vernon Wells and thought, man, I haven't seen him in something in a while. And hey, Simon Phillips is in it too. So hey, let's give it a shot. Unfortunately, it just was not for me. But I have to be honest with you, because I think that I'm a little bit more understanding sometimes of smaller independent films, because I know how much work it really takes, and nobody makes a film that hasn't sacrificed something. Like, there's not a film in existence that someone on that set hasn't sacrificed something to make sure that it gets done. But viewers are viewers, and regardless of what I think, they're going to expect a certain level of entertainment. And if they're bored in a 2-hour movie, which, is not easy to carry someone interest-wise through, then they're going to give this one a lower score overall. There are some moments in the film that I did laugh. They were not intentional laughs, by the way. This is a very serious movie, but it did kind of add to the fun of watching this movie my second time. Other than a few laughs, it really was just too long. I wish I had better news than that, and, I hope that for all of these people, they end up working on something much better, and I'm sure they will. Hard work pays off eventually somewhere. But I would have to give this movie no more than a 4, and my personal score is a 3.5 out of 10. Maybe I'm being a little too particular on a more independent film, but there are things in the movie that I just feel like could have been corrected and fixed. Maybe if you set your expectations a lot lower and then go in to see the movie, maybe it'll do better for you. That's happened for me many times before. But I think the length of this one is really going to grate on some people. But yeah, now I would do like a regular unboxing of this, but I'll just throw in some footage of like how this release looks. It is actually, the cover doesn't look so bad. It looks kind of bigger than it is. Very cinematic front on there, blood and snow. The back has some pretty good stills with Vernon on the top there, and on the side looks just pretty normal. Inside, there is no reversible cover, but the disc is there. It is the unrated version of the film, so you can watch that fully uncut. I don't think that it was anything like super gory for it to be cut, but it is unrated. There are trailers and a slideshow on here, so if you want to check out that, they have other Cleopatra releases that you might want to check out trailers for, some of which I've done reviews for in the past. But yeah, if you want to check this out, June 11th, it should be out on all of your major digital platforms, as well as physical media. If you want to check it out, or maybe you're a Vernon Wells fan and you're like, you know what, screw that guy, I'm going to check it out anyway. Or maybe you're a Simon Phillips fan and you're like, you know what, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, what do you think? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Is this a movie you'd like to watch? Does the information about the story and a meteor interest you? Because when I hear something about a meteor crashing to Earth, there's like 3 movies that come to mind. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Creepshow with the Stephen King short, and also The Blob 1988, all of which are much better than this film. I would love to hear what you think in the comment section down below. If you've seen this movie, what did you think of that end? Was it too on the nose for what it was trying to be like? I would love to hear what you think in the comment section down below. So hit the like and subscribe button and the little bell notification to let you know when I got new stuff coming out. I've been a little bit behind because I've been doing so much behind the scenes, guys. It's been very difficult for me to get work done normally, but I'm going to get more done and more up soon, so stay tuned. But thanks for coming by, and as always, long live the boy.